If you enjoy truthful and heartfelt conversations to inspire you to become a better version of yourself, Empowering Stories will help you. Hi, Karen. What an honor and a pleasure to have you here. How are you?
I'm well, Anna. Thank you very much. And I just realized that we've been trying to get this call together for about 2 years.
Eventually, it's happening.
Happened, yeah.
Maybe this is exactly the time when it was supposed to be, Karen. So let's leave it there. Yeah. Let's be flexible. Karen, for those of you who don't know her, if there's anybody there who doesn't know her, she's a multiple income stream coach and a #1 international bestseller author. That's our 2 bullet points that are just amazing. But apart from that, Karen is a beautiful person whose focus is in the others, in help them and assist them and coach them to become the best version of themselves, to create money. But what for? To become the best version. Because if we're so distracted out there making money, we forget who we are sometimes, and we cannot focus on growing our gifts. Is that so, Karen?
It's true, yeah. My belief is that if you have a dream, that will motivate you to want to make money. Because you and I both know from what we do that it's actually very easy to make money when you know how. It's the motivation to keep making it, and that's where your dreams come in. And once you have those dreams, those goals of what you want to achieve, then you can achieve anything you want.
Yeah, we have the pleasure of working together with Karen, and we have multiple clubs. I think it's 5 already.
5, yeah.
5 clubs together. And Karen is the perfect partner that you want for your business because she's always there on time with everything done. She never loses it, never. And everything is done perfectly. Spreadsheets, dealing with people. It's just such a pleasure, Karen, to work with you, because with you everything goes smoothly. How do you get there?
Well, thank you first for saying that. You probably haven't seen things this end. They probably don't look as organised as they seem to you. But it's just the background I've come from, I think. I've worked with things that have meant that I have to meet deadlines. I have to make sure things are in place, and that's just in my nature to actually do that. I've worked all my life meeting certain deadlines for certain reasons, and the only way to do that is to make sure you've got all your systems in place.
That's fantastic. And that's what you teach other people to do now, to get some systems in place to get money work for you. Tell us something about that. How did you get there? Tell us everything, the whole story.
Well, for me, the #1 thing is you need to have a business. Because if you haven't got a business, then you can't actually make money, and you haven't got money to go and invest. And so we start off by teaching people how to build online businesses. The businesses that are referred to as side hustles, they don't take a lot of time to build. They don't cost, most of them don't cost anything to set up. You can get started, be making money very quickly, and to me that's free money. Once you pay your expenses and you don't have expenses except your taxes that you're making, that's free money that allows you to then go and do the investing. And the investing part is we look at property, and again we look at property where we use options. So there is a small cost, but it's not a cost like if you were going to buy a property to invest in. So we use options. We teach people about shares. My focus is dividend investing. And then, of course, we partner up with you to do the clubs for other people who want to get more into the trading side of investing. and then teach people how to protect it all with gold and silver, maybe a bit of crypto thrown in as assets to protect everything. And that's the simple strategy.
What about the mindset?
Mindset is the hardest part because most people come with a mindset of lack, so lack of abundance. They come with a mindset of need, but they also have a mindset of fear. And so it's all about showing them little things, and that's why I work with a lot of stuff that is free to start, very small amounts to get invested, so that they can see, well, yeah, I can do that. I can see the results coming through. That builds the confidence and allows them to move on and do other things.
And what about women and men? Do you see a difference in everything? The amount of people, the flexibility, their changing mindset, the persistency?
There is a big difference because I think when we look at women sort of get married, have the kids, look after their house, and then when the kids go away, most of them are around the late 30s, early 40s, and they suddenly think, I've been out of touch with everything for a long time, and now I want to start doing something for me. So a lot of our clients are coming to us, women round about the age of late 30s, early 40s, because they're wanting a change, but they don't know what that change is. They're just exploring what they can do for themselves. With the men tend to be round about the 50s, where they hit the midlife crisis, and they sort of think, I've got no money to retire. I've got no pension in place. I've been looking after the family. I've been doing all this. I'm in panic mode because I know I want to retire shortly. And so, we have these two different mindsets that we try to balance out and just get people to a place where they're a bit more relaxed, a bit calmer, and we can say to them, this is how we can move you forward.
Why this lack of knowledge in society? We've been handling money for how many years? For centuries. How come that still in school we know nothing about money, or university, or?
It's just not taught. It's quite interesting we're having this conversation because I've just been recording a video this morning, which is around the fact that governments change things all the time, right? And they expect us to understand those changes. But if they don't put the teaching in place, then we don't understand it. And if you go back to like 2007, where we had in the UK, there was a run on the Northern Rock Bank. And 2008, we went into the credit crunch, which was the precursor to the big recession that we had. Government suddenly turned around and said, you're responsible for your pension. You're responsible for doing this. We're having austerity measures. You want extra money, you've got to go and find out how to do it. There was no training provided to anybody. There never had been. People go through the education system at school, and that education system is geared up to teach you how to be an employee, not how to look after yourself or how to look after your family or put money on the table, bring money in, put food on the table, a roof over your house. It doesn't teach you any of that. It teaches you the steps to be a good employee, and that's it. And that's where people lack all this information and knowledge that they need. And when governments change things, that education isn't there. And so, like, pensions were changed during the credit crunch and the recession 2010. They started changing pensions, and instead of you working and thinking, I'm going to get my golden handshake and get money at the end, all of a sudden they said, no, you're now responsible for your pension. You decide when you take your money. You decide what you do with your money. You decide what you invest it into, but never told anybody how to do that. And that's what we're seeing. There's this total lack of education out there.
Yeah. However, the people who changes the law, some of them are also employees themselves. Maybe they cannot see further.
I think that is part of the situation. Is there's we have governments that change around so quickly, voted in and out. There's no long-term planning as a pathway for people to go through their lives. We just assume that, right, we're dealing with this situation now. We don't actually think down the future as to where we expect things to go.
Yeah.
And I think it's just this total lack of forward planning.
Yeah, I suppose it would be great if we had somebody at the very top having a very long-term vision and saying, this is where we're going to as a society in 20 years time, 30, 40, 50. And now, yeah, you can change all the politicians that you want, but maybe some politicians, they need to make ends meet, and they say, well, whatever, as long as I get my wages for the next 4 years.
Yeah, and different philosophies from people as well.
Yeah.
So things are just chopping and changing all the time.
Yeah.
You know, if I look at your business, you know, how long have you been in business?
About 10 years, 10, 12 years.
Right. So how many people have you taught in that time, and how many are out there that have totally no understanding whatsoever? You know, it's unbelievable, really, and you've got to say the education system isn't there.
Yeah, yeah. And before that, Karen, I was working for others for 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had no clue, absolutely no clue. No clue about anything.
Yeah. And again, people fear change, so they don't want to go and learn because they're happy where they are at the moment. And like I said, there's this fear. Why do I need to do this? Why do I need to go forward? And yeah, it's I don't know. I think you and I could be here for a month talking about. All right.
Yeah, you were saying before that people come to you with this sense of lack or this mental blockages, and they're full of lack, of need, and fear.
Yeah.
What lack we all understand, I think. Need, is that related to greed? Is that just make ends meet? Is a need for learning? Is what kind of need or needs?
Mainly the need is that they don't have enough money.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Which is lack again. It's lack again, right?
Yeah. When I say lack, people can have this abundance. I mean, riches is not just money. Riches is what you have in life, right? So you can have abundance mindset and still not have any money, right? That's the nature. You appreciate and you've got gratitude for what's around you, so you have that abundance mindset. So people come to me with a lack of abundance, right? So they just think, no, I can't do this, I can't do that, I would like to learn, but it's impossible, right? Then there's this lack of money. There's a need because they don't have enough money to cover day-to-day things that they want to do, right? They've not been taught how to manage their money, so there's always this lack of money. I need more money. And people who are entrepreneurs come to me, and the first thing we have to do with them is, if you want to invest, we've got to get another income stream into your business so that you've got money to be able to invest. So generally it's lack of abundance and a need because they don't have the day-to-day money that they have to cover their expenses.
And obviously lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Lack of knowledge, big time.
Lack of knowledge there. Yeah.
Plus the beliefs, the belief system of this is very difficult, I can't, Yeah, maybe it's too late.
It's all there, yeah. And like I said, the women come round about the 40-ish mark because their families have gone, what am I going to do? They need something in their lives. What am I going to do in my life? Right? The men come round about the 50s. That's when they're having their midlife crisis.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to be thinking of retiring in 5 years. I haven't got any money to retire. So everything is from a lack of something. But there's also this fear. So the women are, well, what am I going to do with myself? You know, what they call it, empty nest syndrome.
Oh, yeah, I'm going through it.
So what am I going
Pretty
to
busy.
do?
I'm very busy though. But the lack of children, I understand.
Yeah. And then the men are, I haven't got any money. If I wanted to retire now, I can't go and play my golf. I haven't got the money to do it. I can't do anything. So yeah, there's a fear there that they haven't got what they need to be able to survive. I use the word survive quite a lot, survive and thrive. So we take people from surviving to actually thriving.
And seeing people going from surviving to thriving, is that what fuels you?
Oh, it's brilliant. Um, you see things and suddenly there's a switch, this mind switch, and you think, right, it's finally sunk in. And it's brilliant when that happens because then suddenly it's, oh, I'm ready to go now. I want to do this. I want to do that. One of my programs is a 5-year program, and that was all I used to teach, 5-year program. And after 12 months, I'd be saying, well, we should have you at this level now. Oh, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. And I'm saying, well, if you want to go forward, you've got to change. You've got to do this because you should be at this level now. And then it's almost like year 2, the switch starts. And by year 4, 5, they're coming out as millionaires. Right? Because the light bulb has suddenly gone on and they've suddenly thought, yeah, I'm understanding this now. I think part of my job as a coach is I've got a list of different ways to teach someone the same thing because everybody views things differently, and it's finding the way of getting that information into someone in the format that they understand.
So intuition plays a huge role in your activity.
Really got to get to know the people to know what are the buttons to push. How do I say do this? How do I say do that? And then the light bulb moment for them. Yeah.
Well, apart from the feel that you get, this empowerment of seeing somebody turning from zero to hero, how else is what you do changing you? What are you achieving? Where are you getting? This is not about the money anymore, that's for sure. So what is it? Where are you getting? Who are you becoming, Karen?
For me, it's a satisfaction, if you like, because I believe anybody can have anything they want, can do anything they want, can be anything they want, but they don't know how to do it. And I get that satisfaction from showing them, teaching them, and pointing them in the right direction that they can actually go out and do that. And when that light bulb goes off, for me, it's like, whoa, I finally got through to them. I finally found a way of getting through and making it work for them. So, yeah, it's a massive satisfaction for me.
Would it be fair to say that it's a call of your heart that you love doing that because yeah. When you were a girl, what was it that really, really called you, that you enjoy doing, that you would do all day, every day? And was there a call?
I was a tennis player. I absolutely love tennis, and I picked up my first tennis racket was for my about my fifth or sixth birthday, and I just absolutely loved tennis, and every spare moment I would be out there playing tennis, and I decided I wanted to be a professional tennis player. And what happened was I actually became a professional tennis player. And within 12 weeks of going on to the pro circuit, I injured a wrist, had to have wrist surgery, and it took me out of the circuit. So I then had to find something else to do because there was no way that you have to be in a peak performance. And the amount of time I had to take out to recoup from that wrist injury, I just lost that performance, and it was too hard then to get back to the level I needed. Because as a sports person, you've only got a limited time that you can actually operate at your peak performance. And I was just running out of time, and it got to the stage where the effort to get me back into that, to the level I needed to be, was more than what I believed the playing time and the reward would be for me in doing that. So I actually dropped out of that, met my husband, who's a Kiwi, moved to New Zealand, and actually went into banking. And wow, I found money. Money was fabulous to be working with. I started work with a new bank. The day I started, it was a savings bank, and it had been operating from a caravan. And the day I started, it moved into actual premises. Plus, it put the first ATM into the bank. Right, this is back in 82. So most of the world didn't have ATMs then. New Zealand was the first place to have ATMs. We had an advanced system that was online. We had people coming from all around the world to see how we operated an online banking system. And I was just allowed to grow with the bank as it brought in more products and services. I basically did my training, if you like, in the financial world. So I went through all the different levels in banking, and I learned credit cards. Well, I learned banking, I learned mortgages, I learned credit cards, I learned the foreign exchange markets, and I just grew with the bank. It was absolutely, timing was spot on.
Wow. I suppose that all the persistency and the focus that you brought from tennis, you could apply it elsewhere. And because it was something being born, you grew together with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also, when you talked earlier about how I have everything organized, it's a discipline that I think I learned from tennis, because I had to do all the pre-work. If I wanted to go to a match, I had to do all the pre-work, I had to do all the training, everything had to be set up, and I learned that discipline. And then going into banking, I had to have that discipline learning, and not just to learn, but to handle other people's money. So that's what I was saying, that discipline has been with me right through my life. If I didn't have it, I would never have got where I am today.
Yeah. And it carries on, and it's such a pleasure. What about your thoughts and your beliefs about money? Because when you said I went to New Zealand and I went into banking, and your face is lit up thinking about the cards and the money. The cards and the money are, for so many people, thinking of money, and they just contract because they think about violence, scarcity, not having food. I don't know, maybe their parents fighting over money, because so many couples fight over money. What was your upbringing around money? Did it help?
For me, I was learning. I hadn't been in that kind of environment before, right? And I learned, and what I learned about money, and it wasn't just how to make money. I learned business. I learned the skills of business. I learned, most important, leverage and compounding effect. two of the most important skills that you have in life, basically, is how to leverage things and how to compound things. I learned that. And so when I light up and say I learned about money, I wasn't so much learning, I was understanding money, but I was learning a lot of skills. And business, what I learned through the bank about business is being the foundation for me to go forward. The bank I worked with was so advanced with what it did, and it was very forward thinking. It taught me goals. It taught me I had to have my own goals that then helped. If I achieved my goals, I was helping the bank achieve its goals. So they taught me the system of goals. They taught me all about leadership and gave me that training so as I could manage branches and I could coach staff. So although I say I learned about money, I learned practically everything I needed to be able to support myself. That was what the bank was teaching me.
And your co-workers, did they get the same that you did get, or?
I would say, yeah, there were people who would take advantage of that. There's always people who are going to come out and shine. My best friend lives in Canada, and my best friend from New Zealand, she lives in Canada. It was unusual to have a woman in a high-ranking role in banking. She took advantage of that. She got herself right to the very top of the banking industry. So this bank gave us opportunities. If we were prepared to take those opportunities and work to achieve what we wanted, the bank supported us 100%, and it provided that grounding for us to be able to do whatever we wanted to do.
Well, what a brilliant company to be in.
They were absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, the bank doesn't exist anymore. It got taken over, and just one of those things. And a lot of the ethos of the directors of the company and everything that got lost when it got taken over. So that was a shame. But the people who were there at the right time, who embraced what the bank ethos was and what the bank was trying to do, they were the people that have gone on and been so successful with what they've done.
And when the big fish ate the small fish, what did you do?
Me, well, I actually finished just before that happened.
All right.
I had a car crash, and that car crash left me unable to walk. So I spent 2 years learning to walk again after the accident. And I wasn't able to work in the banking environment because I couldn't handle the stress of learning to walk as well as getting myself healthy again after that accident. So I had to give up the banking, and that's when I went into business for myself. I went in with my husband, and basically I have now been, 30 odd years now I've worked for myself. Absolutely love being an entrepreneur.
Yes, you can tell. I see a pattern there. Whenever you need to change from one road to another one, life just smacks you, and first your face, then your legs.
And I'm a strong believer that it happens for a reason. So I think one door has to close before another door can open. So I'm someone who's always listened to what happens around me. And I believe that I used to call it fate. It's now called the universe. Right? But I believe that if you listen, it will show you the direction to actually go.
And what's the universe telling you where to go from here?
I've got some goals and some plans, and I'm building my business, and my focus now is to help people to understand it's easy to make money and to have your dream lifestyle. And at the moment, the universe is supporting me on that. No changes yet.
That's fantastic. And because you do what you love, and you can do it from anywhere. Now you're living in my country.
Yeah, I know we sort of.
How did you end up there? Why are you in my country?
I think you'd rather be here for the better weather, wouldn't you?
I love being in Ireland. I absolutely love being in Ireland. And I know, we were talking about intuition before. I know that now I am supposed to be here. Call it whichever. It's not just about the weather, right?
Yeah.
Things are not about the weather or the food. No, it's about.
I know. I'm supposed to be here looking at the sea out there at the moment.
How did you end up in Spain, of all places? You were in New Zealand, all of a sudden you're in Spain.
I know. I've lived in 5 countries.
Oh, wow.
When I was a kid, I went to school in France, so I learned French and really loved France. Ron and I have a home there now, so we, France is part of where we are. Like I said, Ron's a New Zealander, so we went to New Zealand. From there, we went to Australia, came back to UK. My plan was that I wanted a business model that would allow me to sit on the beach and work from home, basically. So I set a perfect day for myself. And I set that in 1999, and I'm 2/3 towards achieving that perfect day. So I have my mornings sorted, I have my evenings sorted. I've just got to get the bit in the middle to sort it out now, and then I'm quite happy.
The importance of organization, of having a plan and to stick to it, and enjoying along the way.
Oh yeah, you've got to. I mean, it's sad when you see people who say, I'm going to do that when I retire, and then they don't get to retirement age. So I believe that you have your perfect day, and then you tick things off and you create that as you go along.
Yeah. For a second, I went back to the lab, and I remember looking at those machines and say to myself, I don't see myself being here until I'm 65.
Yeah.
I keep writing that to-do list for when I'm 65.
Whereas you can do things now. You can, that's one of the things I teach my clients. You can do it now, because once you learn steps to start bringing some cash in, it's surprising how little cash you need to change something in your life.
That's so profound. Say it again.
Can I remember what I said? Surprising how little cash you need to change something in your life.
Yeah, I think that we had this vision of what would it be like when I retire and I would have all this money and I'll be at the beach and sipping pina coladas, but that's maybe not realistic. Plus, how many pina coladas can you sip a day? And that's not fulfilling. That doesn't fuel you. That moisturizes you, but it doesn't fuel you.
That's right. Oh, gives you a hangover to deal with the next day, doesn't it?
Well, some people cannot be in the sun so easily. That's a disadvantage. Tell us about your courses, what you teach.
I have a series of courses. One is called 0 to Millionaire, and that's where we literally take people who have got no money, we teach them how to set up a business and move them through the different investment strategies. And like I said, we teach them to build a business. We start them off with shares, and I give them, I teach them my side, and then I suggest they go over to your side to learn the trading side of it. So those two work hand in hand. We get them into the property and the gold and silver investing. And then all we do is we move them through different levels until they come out the end as a millionaire. So there's a series of courses there for 0 to Millionaire. And then on the other side, because I love writing and writing books, I've written 25 books now. 3 have actually gone to #1 in various countries, and one's a bestseller. Didn't quite make #1, but it is a bestseller. And so I run a course which is called Desktop Publisher, where we teach people how to write their books, how to self-publish, market them, and then convert those books into businesses, so that they, if that's what they're interested in, how they can then grow what they do on the book side so that they have a business coming out at the end. So I've got 2 ways of teaching people how to make money.
What I see as well, Karen, is that what you give people is believe in themselves.
Yeah, that's the important thing. If they don't believe, if they haven't got that confidence in themselves, then they're not going to go on, and one, they won't stay the course and get the results that they want. A lot of them will turn around and say, no, that doesn't work. You hear that from courses. Oh, I tried that, it doesn't work. And the reason it didn't work is because they didn't have the faith and the confidence that it was working.
Yeah.
And most courses work if they have that confidence in that. So that's where we talked about the mindset earlier. The mindset is really important, that we take the lack of abundance, the need, the fear, and we show people that yes, they can turn that around. They can do whatever they want. They can build the lifestyle they want. They can have the money coming in they want, and take them on little steps so that they start to build that confidence.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing what you do, because for so many out there, this motherly figure of somebody saying to you, you can do it, and I'll be with you every step of the way. For so many, it's not there, it's never been there.
Yeah.
But you do that. Thank you so much. We need so many Karens around the world. So many Karens, because it's not about the business, it's not about the book, it's about somebody cares. You matter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you've knit it. I've never thought of it that way, but the more you say that to me, yes, that's what you're doing is, and you do exactly the same. You're showing people that, hey, we're here to help you. We want you to get these results, and we're there holding your hand until you get them. And I think that's why we have the partnership that works, because we've got the same ethos, both of us.
Yeah, we're completely in alignment there. It's about we care.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you have a wonderful app. Tell us something about that app that holds everything that Karen Newton can offer you.
Yeah, it's available on Google. It's Karen Newton International. And just put Karen Newton International in there, and it gives you access to my website where you'll get blogs. As I said, I'm a writer. I create endless content. So you get all the information that I put out in blogs about what we do and things that are happening in the economy. My YouTube video is on, platform is on there, so you get videos that I'm putting out. My books are on there, so you've generally got access to my latest books. And there's also a news and updates where I update people on current information so that they know what's happening in the markets and what's affecting the markets. And also there's access to the course platform as well. So it's all there in the one app, which is Karen Newton International.
It's so cool. So cool, and like you, so well organized. And you're so generous, putting all that work, all that effort for others to use. This pure love.
It's like I said, you know, anybody can do anything. They can have anything, be anything they want. It's just most people don't know where to start. And I hope that this is showing them. I'm a strong believer there doesn't need to be poverty in the world. We just need to teach people how to do things. And once we teach them, it's like the Chinese proverb, isn't it? Give a person a fish, they can feed themselves for a day. Teach them to fish, they can feed themselves for a lifetime. And it's just using that philosophy that if we teach people about money, then they can have anything that they want.
Absolutely wonderful. Karen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna.
Absolutely.
Pleasure. And I know we probably could have talked a lot longer as well.
Yeah. We can come back anytime.
That sounds good. Hopefully not another 2 years before.
Anytime. There's an abundance of webinars and calls and interviews that we could do, Karen. So it'd be a pleasure. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, Anna. It's been a pleasure.